Next we will look at another function referred as like. Now, like is a very useful function to look for patterns available in character strings. Now, when you store some data, we say you have a list of project names stored. Now, you want to look for project starting with some particular word, then using this like keyword we can search for matching values based on that particular condition. So, what we do here is we use a whatever the part of the word we are looking for within that entire string, and then use a particular the string matching character what we are using. So, for SQL the percent sign is used as the wildcard, which is similar to the asterisk what is used in for other purposes in computing, meaning anything that follows after that you can have anything after that, but before it is the word what you have typed here. So, for example, inform percent means anything starting with inform and anything afterwards will be a matching value. So, for information or informatics all will be matching values. So, any project having like information technology and so forth would be possible matching outputs of this expression. So, what we specify is within quotes some expression where you can have whatever the keyword. So, if I use inform percent, the first word must to start with inform, but if I use percent inform percent, then inform can be anywhere in the string. So, you have more flexibility in the way you are expressing. So, with respect to whatever the names, for example, any person's name starting with A, B, E, Y or whatever, then you use a percent, then all names starting with that pattern would be part of our output. So, this wildcard character is the percent, and a single character matching also there is another character, but the common use is with respect to the percent sign. And again like in the earlier case we can negate anything other than this matching with inform also can be obtained using not in front. So, you can say project name not like inform percent. Then we mentioned about these null values. So, null also sometime we want to eliminate null or sometime we want to look for these null values. Null is a special value. So, as a result you can't compare using the normal operators. So, normal values you compare with equal or greater than or whatever. For null we have to use a keyword called is. So, you express is null or is not null. So, when you say is not null, that means there should be some value then it will list. Is null means it is a special value is what is stored, then only null entries are selected as the condition satisfying. So, the expressions can be combined using is and null or not null, as well as any other expression what we use like between, in and so forth. So, some of the examples are what is given. So, and or are commonly used for any type of expressions. You will not only use in for databases, but for programming environment you will use it widely. But the main thing to remember is the syntax how you express based on the language it can vary. So, the how SQL specifies is what we are looking at here. How some other programming language may use can be different. So, you need to be aware of that, otherwise you will be not expressing the syntax correctly. So, if you have two conditions you can specify in this case project name like inform percent and emp name equals dias, meaning both conditions must be satisfied to obtain the output. If it is or, then one of them satisfying is adequate, and if you use not, then the negation of whatever you were referring to. Now, we would later look at few more examples of use of these syntax to extract data. So, here we are only introducing the basic structure and how to use it, but until you apply them for various problems, you will not experience the actual expressive power and how to use it as well. Next, we will look at a different aspect of retrieval of data. All the data we looked at so far is retrieving the data as it is from a table, and as it is means it can be a subset of the data in the original table, but you do not modify the data, you just take some columns and some rows and then present as our output. Now, sometime we want to get a summarized information. Now, summarized information are not physically stored in the database, but when you are retrieving you want to do some calculation and obtain some derived data. So, for example, you have a employee table, you may want to know how many employees are there, which means you have to just count and give a value which will indicate there are so many records. So, likewise you may want to do a average of something or maximum value, minimum value and so forth. So, these type of things belongs to some aggregate function what we perform using SQL, and there are certain keywords you can use to get this aggregate information. So, we use AVG for average, MIN for minimum, MAX for maximum, SU sum or the summation and count to identify how many items are there. So, how many records are there or how many rows are there. So, we will look at some examples of using them as well, and then we mention about subqueries using the in function. We will look at about the subqueries as well. Sometimes you may need to use that use the subquery to do part of the task of the requirement and then pass that output to another step to get the final result. So, then only you will have subqueries within the expressions. So, with respect to some examples, we have taken an employee table, because we are dealing with averages, minimum, maximum. It is not the same table what we had earlier. We have slightly modified the example table employee, and the idea is to illustrate how to use these functions, aggregate functions, and where you specify it. So, aggregate function is used to get the output of a summarized information. So, in this particular case employee table, we have 5 rows of 5 rows representing 5 employees, and so the output we are looking for is how many employees, which is 5, and how do you get it using SQL is you say select, instead of the list of items which we listed earlier like e name, e number and so forth, we say a function, because that function value is the output. So, these aggregate functions are used similar way to how you use in the data item list as your output columns. So, the function names must be known like AVG, count and so forth. As it is a function, there should be within brackets some argument. So, in this particular case we are illustrating how to count, and the counting you can, if you count with respect to any argument, you get the same answer in this case. That is, if you count with respect to employee number, how many employees with employee number or how many employees with job or salary, all get the same value. So, we use asterisk which indicate anything is okay, and we will identify that there are 5 rows. So, the function is count within bracket star, and that would be the output column. So, here it is not a column name from a table, but it is a built in function, and that will give the count of how many records are there. So, in this particular case you are counting records in the employee table. So, the syntax would be select count star from employee. Then we will look at another built-in function, in this particular case using average. So, to use average you have to have a numeric set of data. You can't use average for any data item, you can't identify average of a job, because those are character strings. So, the average means you take the values, in this case salary, this 5 salary values you average over the 5 employees. So, you add the 5 salaries and divide by 5, that would be the answer. So, you can get it through a function called AVG. So, if you say select AVG within bracket salary from this particular table, then you would get the average salary as, in this case the answer is 12,400. So, you have to specify which column you are averaging, because averaging can be for DNO, salary, ENO, and some of these things it will not work if you say job, or even for E number, even if it works it does not make sense. So, you need to specify the correct meaningful column to calculate the average. So, likewise you can specify these functions. So, if I want I can say MIN salary, that is the minimum salary, or MAX salary, maximum salary, then I would have got 8,000 or the 20,000. Sometimes we may want one table having all those summaries. So, you can say count star comma average comma average salary comma mean salary comma max salary, then in one row we will get all the values. So, it is possible to use in that manner as well. So, whenever you are using these aggregate functions, remember these aggregate functions appears as an output column soon after the select, not anywhere else. Common mistake is some uses this in a expression in a where clause, which is incorrect. This has to be output, you can't use in expressions. You may use in expressions in other programming environment, but not in SQL. So, that is how you would identify these and use these special functions. And in addition to that, we will next look at two more keywords which was introduced with the select command, which is to group data and filter data from those groups. So, we have two keywords called group by and having. So, first we will look at what is group by. Grouping means you rearrange the data based on some values, and for that group one possible value will have one entry. For example, if you group by we will say department number, then you will have one department number in your output. For example, department number 10 will have only one row, although actually in the data set we had plenty. So, for every possible matching value you will get one output entry. So, it is like taking a set of distinct values of whatever the grouping condition and providing the other information. So, if you are looking at this particular example, now we have the employee data. Suppose I want to know for each department what is the average salary. So, department number 10 what is the average salary, department number 20 what is the average salary, department number 30 what is the average salary. So, how you do it is you group the data based on this department number, then for that particular department it will calculate the average, because in this case the output is for average. So, what it will do is it will rearrange the data according to department numbers and apply your aggregate function to the records satisfying the values of that group. So, that for department number 10 20,000 and 8,000 is average, and then you get 14,000. Department number 20 there is only one record. So, 9,000 is averaged to get the same 9,000. Then for 30 you average over this 25,000 by 2, which is 12,500. So, that is how it would work with respect to the averaging. And when you are grouping any data grouping the whatever the data by some condition, usually your output must have the group condition and whatever the summary information. If you use without the group condition in your output, the output will be not meaningful. For example, if you drop the DNO and just show average salary and show the 3 values 14,000, 9,000 and 12,500, it will not make sense. Only when you say department 10 is 14,000, only it makes some sense. So, your output one column or first set of columns must be this group by condition. Then the next set can be whatever the aggregate functions like average, minimum, maximum and so forth. You can't use any other attribute other than the group by condition attributes or the summary values. Any other cannot be used in output when you are using the group by condition. For example, in this case we have job. Now, you can't introduce job as an output column in this select statement, because job is not part of the group by condition. So, for a particular department we can count how many people have jobs or whatever, but you can't count for manager, clerk and so forth, because our condition does not have that. So, you need to be careful with respect to expressing group by conditions. This is a common mistake people do by not thinking with respect to the requirement of the group, and the group what it does is summarize the data based on the group conditions, which is basically a count, average and so forth. So, you can't have any other attributes as part of your output. Then with respect to having, it is like where clause, but only difference is the filtering condition applies after grouping. Now, normal where clause will filter data before grouping, but having will filter data after grouping. So, having can be applied only to a output of a group by condition. So, if you ignore the last statement of having, and if you look at what is the output of using select DNO average salary from employee group by DNO, you got a table with 3 rows. Then that table if you want to filter, for example, we want to only records with average salary greater than 12,000, then you want to filter from that output. So, for that purpose you can use this having. So, having cannot be used without a group by condition, and the purpose is to filter the output you get prior to that using the having clause. Suppose we wanted to apply this condition based on filtered data before grouping, then you must have a where clause. For example, suppose we wanted to take not all employees, we wanted to take employees, we will say who are managers. Then when you are averaging, you are averaging for department number based on managers. So, in this particular case we have only one manager for each department. So, as a result the average is with respect to that person. So, if we had select DNO average salary from employee where job equals manager, then you get all the managers, then average their salaries, and that would be the output. Then you would get for department 10 20,000, department 30 it is 15,000, and you do not get any other record because there are only managers in those 2 departments. So, that is the difference between using the where and the having clause. Where is used for the original data table what you have in the from table, and with respect to the having, it must go with the group by statement. So, yeah, so in this particular syntax it is typing error there, it should be from instead not from. So, that is basically introducing how to use the group by and having clause. So, we have now gone through basically all the possible syntax with respect to the select statement, which is actually the select from where, group by, having and order by. So, all those keywords can be used depending on the need to use or the requirement of the output. Some statements you will not use and so forth, but whatever you use ultimately it goes as one expression, one statement where it has use of certain keywords. Next, we will briefly introduce the subqueries, which is also goes as nested queries as well, especially when you are using subqueries inside another select statement. So, that the difference between writing an expression using a subquery and not otherwise, you would get some idea through the next few slides. So, subquery is a select statement that is nested inside a where clause. Now, we saw earlier a subquery inside a where clause using the in clause. So, here also we are talking about the very similar thing, but we are now going into more detailed example. Earlier we just introduced because we used it with the in keyword. So, for this particular purpose we are using a particular example where we are going to list all suppliers supplying part P2. So, we assume there are data tables which has about list of suppliers, list of parts what are being supplied and which supplier has supplied which parts. So, all those are in different tables. So, if we are retrieving data of that nature, we want to know the name of the supplier supplying a part called P2 and the parts supplied by various suppliers are in a particular table. We will assume that table is called supply. The list of the supply details are available in the supply table. Then in that case, to extract such data, we can do it in two stages. First of all, we can go through the supply table which will have details about this supplier supplied this part. So, the supply table will have the data about the supply indicating which supplier supplied which part. So, the part what we are interested is P2. So, which means if you go through the supply table and match for part equals P2, then those records are what we are interested, but that data actually have only a supply number. So, as a result we get a list of supply numbers, but our interest is actually the name. Supply name is not actually available in the same table. Supply table do not have the all the names, the names are stored in a separate table called supplier. So, in such case what we have to do is the matching numbers you get from one table and pass it to another query to get the corresponding names. You can do this using a join as well, but in this particular case we are showing how to do it using a subquery. So, in this particular situation the subquery is select SNO from supply where PNO equals P2. So, a table called supply, we are filtering only supply numbers, only one column, satisfying records where that supplier has supplied only part P2. Then those records are extracted and then you get, for example, supply number 10, 20, 30 have supplied those. Then those things are taken as a set of values and we have used this in keyword what was mentioned before, and in the supplier table there are all the supplier details, and for each supplier number we are taking the corresponding name by matching these numbers what we extracted from the subquery with the supply table, and you get the corresponding output. So, the same can be achieved in an alternative way using a traditional equal join condition, and in this particular case we have expressed as select supply name from these two tables, that is supply and supply, and the condition is two supply numbers must be equal, SNO equals SNO, one is from supply, other is from supplier, and then the part number PNO equals P2 is the other condition. So, you can express in that manner or using as a subquery. So, whichever way you do, you will get the same result. So, which means subqueries are can be used as an alternative way of solving some type of problems, but there are some problems you can't solve without using the subquery facility. So, we will look at one of those as well. Now, I mentioned these aggregate functions, you can get it only as an output column. Suppose you want to get some details, we will say give me the employee details of the employee who is paid the lowest salary. So, in that case first of all we have to know what is the lowest salary, what is the value of the lowest salary. Now, that we do not know, and to get that only way we can do is use a function called min salary as an output of a table. So, for that you